Mouse, 3 kills go the way of the CTs. That ramp play working perfectly to actually stop the Palace hit. And ZywOo, he has the bomb inside of Palace. He has the op. Magisk has gotten up short. He's caught JDC in movement as well. Now, does he find the timing? No, JDC peeks out and clears it. It is ZywOo. We've seen him do some crazy things so far this game, but this 1 versus 5 might be a little over even his head.
50 HP. Bomb on the back. Slowly skulks his way round through T-Spawn. The problem is, even if he loses this round and still does damage, a frag here and there,
yeah,
it could ruin Mouse. They're already in such a bad spot.
He may want to just throw that op away too, because Mouse isn't going to be able to buy one. And they should know that, based on the fact that Torsi had the scout, the M4s are there. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him walk back and just throw this op away in T-spawn. He might just try to hold on to it. Looks like that is what he's going to do. But if they start collapsing on him, throwing it over the wall there wouldn't be the worst play.
Guarantee that they won't be able to get one for next. There is going to be the peek out. That's Dexter. Oh.
He's like, nah.
Yeah, none of this. Not worth it.
Nah, I'll just, he can have it. You can have it, buddy.
So it will be a formality. And ZywOo will be allowed to clutch on to his signature weapon. And the game goes 15-10. The A hit not working the way they wanted it to.
No. It was unfortunate for them. They go for the Palace pop, and it just happened to be the round that Mouse do the double ramp push. So it's just an unfortunate situation, really. Vitality, they still have the money, although not as much as I thought. Apex, dupreeh, and Magisk all down below 2K. Masuda barely above it. ZywOo, of course, has all the extra bank. But even still, if they lose this one, they'll be able to force into the next with some gun drops and stuff, but that'll be it. Then they'll have to be on the eco. So Mouse, they need 5 in a row now. 6 if you count that last one, to bring this one to overtime. Remember, winner of this game qualifies for the major. Loser is out. We are on map 3. Vitality is up 15-10 on this third and deciding map. It's been very back and forth. Big performance from Vitality on Dust 2 to bring us to this third map. And can they close it out now? 5 match points in a row from this point. Can they do it?
Close ramp set up from the CTs. Bomb rotating back around. Dexter, smoke in the hand, looking for the contact. His teammate in BMAS playing anti-flash on the ledge. Smoke out to connector as well here as Apex pushes back up. dupreeh, he's going to take the first fight. Dexter, his attention's been drawn round towards Palace, and that is a punishing kill from dupreeh. Torsi does actually stop the connector flank, but a Molotov onto Dexter, that shuts him down. Torsi's having a hell of a round though. He's finally woken up into this one, Davey, and he is punishing them. But ZywOo on the Tech 9 drive-by comes running in, hits a tag onto JDC, and it's all down to the 2-on-2. Torsi, woo, comes in like a tornado.
Torsi with 4 on the AK. He doesn't need the op. He's had a quiet game, but comes up massive when they need him. 4 kills from the window on the A-Cross with that AK-47. And ZywOo, I thought when he ran forward with the Tech 9 and got that trade on the player inside of the vent, poor Frozen trying to creep through as ZywOo found him. Falls back, flicks up, lands the leg on the player on short, but just can't get the kill. And now this pauses to try to figure out the money. So I think what we're going to see here is ZywOo with the hero op. He can buy it, that's fine. He had a ton of extra bank. Everyone else on the half buy, and then the next round you have the buy-in anyways. So you get like 1.5 buys out of it with your best player on the op. So it's like, okay, this is fine.
And the battle of the AWPers will begin again as well. As Torsi's pulled one out. Highlight here on dupreeh and BMAS. And dupreeh, he's had a monstrous series. After Nuke, he really came out of his shell and started giving it.
Absolutely. He's been fragging right up there with ZywOo the whole time.
Yeah.
And crucially as well, Magisk, 20 and 16. He's that third guy we were talking about. Those 3 need to be popping off if you want to win. If you're Vitality, that's what you need, and that's exactly what they're getting into this game. Boost up towards the ramp for ZywOo to try to find the opening on the player crossing, but they don't give him anything. Torsi has recovered that op too. He's got that in his pocket now. What's he going to be able to do with it in his hands? Because we saw 4 kills with him from the AK last round, and we haven't really seen anything from him this game with the op.
It's not been too stunning when he's had the scope. ZywOo, though, looking over the top, hearing into sight. He's going to spot him, and that's Dexter done.
And the hero op working, the boost to find the opening. And now that's going to mean there has to be some reaction from Mouse. You can see Magisk is waiting, Masuda's waiting. They just want to hold for these pushes, and here it comes. Flashes in, it's not good. Torsi misses the flash, and BMAS is punished because of it.
So the weapon stolen away for Magisk. He's now got a free upgrade onto the M4. Things are going to get messy here. The comms are going to be hectic for the CTs of Mouse. You're in a 3 versus 5, and you're not sure where they're committing to yet.
And they have the nades for this execute, so they are just going to be throwing out the A nades. Crucially, they don't have Molotovs. Doesn't look like it's going to matter because no CTs are playing inside of the site. dupreeh is going to be lurking towards middle. The A smokes are going to come out. The op is here in CT spawn. Flash is good to push him off. Now ZywOo has the line.
It's all about Torsi to cause turmoil with the AWP. He backs off towards CT. If he peeks into it, ZywOo, he's ready with the response. The fly swatter, frozen. He gets contact towards connector and drops in the nade, but they're able to bypass it and stay alive. He hits the headshot through the smoke onto Apex. That's his 2K, and now it's a 3-on-3. All about the retake. JDC walking up to the stairs. They're going to flash over to slow it down. If he peeks out, he might be able to get a shot on the ZywOo. But no, it's too slow. It's too late. They're tucking in, Davey, in this round. It's getting freaky.
It's getting absolutely ridiculous. The smoke on Palace. Torsi actually wins out, finds the kill on ZywOo, and it is the 1 versus 2. Masuda with the deagle, and somehow 3 versus 5. Mouse brought it all the way back, and they are not done yet.
Oh, you can see, even they're thinking, how are we winning these? How is it so close?
What the hell, Jack? What is going on?
This is just balmy, mate. And Torsi, the one time when we're saying, you know, he's got to go huge. He absolutely has to hit his shots. And he did. Frozen as well. The critical clutch play towards connector. That's massive.
That double kill was huge. Not only do you find the lurk of dupreeh, but you also kill Apex right as he plants the bomb. Just the one tap through the smoke. Dexter now reacting. You can see change of pace from Vitality. They're walking up short. Dexter, he spotted the head. He spotted the kill. That's going to be the first. Can he land the second? No, but Torsi gets it. And actually a ton of damage done to dupreeh as well. Mouse, they are biting back. They are not done with this game yet. They are not done and dusted. They are not out of this one. They are fighting for their right to play at the major.
Dexter, the double killer, leaving us with an absolute thriller here in the 28th as it's all on Apex. He's towards middle. Dexter's walking up, clears Delpan, his head's going to be spotted. That's the adjustment from Apex, but he's still got to take 4 more to the grave if he wants to close down the game. And Torsi, with the AWP, he goes big again.
And we're seeing Torsi wake up, and that has been the difference in these past few rounds. He was very quiet throughout that first half. Even through the first part of the second half, we didn't see a lot from him. And then that 1 4K with the AK seems to have rejuvenated him. He's come alive into this game. He's getting frag after frag, multi-kills with the ops. That round he had 3. And this has been an unbelievable resurgence here. You can see Zonic, they're taking the tack. Vitality wants to, they just need to calm everything down. Just channel all that energy they had early in the game. Bring it back out. There's no need to panic. You're still in control. You still have the match point. You can take an eco if you need to. You still have a couple rounds to play with. But Mouse really this is showing a lot of balls for this team, right? They have 2 players who've recently promoted from the academy. And it's just, and they are fighting back against absolute legends of the scene. 4-time major winners in Zonic, dupreeh, and Magisk. And they are just battling back. Players who, this time 6 months ago, were playing in the Academy League.
Even the fact that they have made it to this position, to be in a best-of-3 to qualify to the major, is enough of an achievement. But now, Davey, you're in a spot where in 2 rounds you could push it to overtime and still actually have that chance to go to the Pgl Major. This is just a crazy story for different reasons for both teams.
Yep. And here, so Apex has the hero AK. He's going to be entering out ramp. They're going to throw the A smokes on the right side. Those are going to go down. They're going to have to try to flash him out. ZywOo has the 1 flash. And then there's this double lurk and underpass. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to try to boost him up into window or if they are just going to try to lurk up into connector. But this flash needs to blind Torsi for Apex to be able to get out. Flash comes in, it doesn't work, it doesn't blind him for long enough. That's a free kill for Torsi. The hero AK is dropped, and now Dexter is clearing this underpass play, and that's the thing. If you can't push him off the angle and ticket, then you can't do anything else. As Masuda does find one Deagle shot back, as Zaiwu running through T-spawn, has the Deagle. Dupree with the armor, so he's picked up the AK.
40 seconds now on the timer in the 29th round. If Maus win this, it will be 15-14. They still have an edge to work with, but Dupree, he's had a heater of a game. Can he once again turn up the flames? Zaiwu clears towards Sandwich. He wants to clear under. BMAS is there. Lands the 1D. Bomb going to be whipped out and Plant going to be coming in. They get it down and they leave themselves in a 3-on-3 that could be winnable. Masuta, he's only got 3 HP. He peeks out towards Connector. Zaiwu still sticking to his guns, literally expecting the fight. Has to support Masuta. Tucks in, so they've got 2 players in Connector. That's the face from JDC and the bullet landing on the lips of Masuta. He's going to wide swing on this as well. Spot Zaiwu trying to play anti, and it's not going to work. It's all on Dupree in the 1v2.
And he's tucked away at Tetris. They're not sure. They know he's in this position, but they don't know if he's ramp or if he is tucked away. They are going to push him. They're going to give him the 1v1s. Dupree lands the first, jiggling out and the second. The headshot from Dupree, the hero AK. And look at the relief on his face. He wins it out in the 1 versus 2, finds 3 kills with that recovered AK from Apex, and Vitality are going to the major.
That is huge. The round from Dupree. The tap, the adjustment. He's not even excited. He's just glad it's over. He's just glad they make it to the major.
That was just relief on his face. He took his headphones off. He took them out, and he's just a big breath, a sigh of relief for Vitality. Now the celebrations can begin. Now that it's over, now that you've made it, now that it's done, it is going to be the round going the way. And look at JDC, the heartbreak from the Maus boys, but they should be proud of everything they've accomplished. To take this Vitality team that far and that deep on map 3, you should be proud of yourselves.
For what this roster's achieved here, for how quickly they've grown themselves into a great position at the RMR, it's incredible, but it's an upsetting loss for them. They knew how close they were. They knew they took it the full 3 maps. And they were bringing it back, man. It looked like OT was coming. It's a shame for Maus, but for Vitality, that is a staple roster with a staple organization going to the PGL Major.
Yeah, and well done to them. I mean, like they were saying on the desk before this, if they didn't qualify, that would have been an absolute disaster. Now, it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't the easy qualification they would have been hoping for, but regardless, it was the qualifying. They won the game. That's all that matters in the end. Hey, it doesn't matter how you got there. Now you've just made it there. You need to work on your mistakes and really come into this major prepared. You have a couple weeks now.
2 crazy storylines there for both of these teams, and this is one that we have to dissect, so have fun with it, Shocks. What a game.
Thank you so much. What a game indeed. And I'm sure we're going to find the time to talk about Maus as well, because as you rightfully said, unbelievable with, 18th of March, when JDC was officially then added to that main roster. But it is Vitality we need to talk about first, because the odds were up against them, because they stacked them against them themselves, let's be honest here, Maniac. And it all came down to Mirage and to Dupree at the very end, who had been so instrumental for them throughout this campaign.
Again, individuals kind of bailing out Vitality, putting themselves in very complicated situations. I mean, I understand the pressure is really high, but I don't see how we have to rely so heavily on individuals to save them. Dupree obviously was a savior. Zaiwu had a great series, the one what we expected, we hoped to see. And even Magisk rolled back the years on that Mirage. He had multiple opening, very impactful kills. My issue was the sustainability of that model. I want to see something a bit more safe, a bit more stable. I don't want to have my heart 150 BPM every single time I watch Vitality play. I won't make it to the major.
They got the job done. They got the job done, and I think that's the main sentiment right here. I fully agree with you, right? We got to see Magix, especially in the second half, find so much impact to get them back into the game. Maus played a tremendous game as well. They put them under a lot of pressure, and it took everything, all the experience you mentioned, right? All the majors, all the tournaments they won, they had to use all that in order to get it over the finish line. Very, very well done, sorry, to Maus here, but at the end of the day, you can just see this individual class that Vitality have, right? That's why you pay them the big bucks. That's why they're some of the most tenured players in the game of Counter-Strike. You even see his reaction right here. He's not celebrating, he's just relieved. That was such a big moment for him.
That's what it is, relief. For players like Dupree, like Magisk, Zaiwu, Apex, Misuta for that matter, all these guys, not making it to the major would have been soul-crushing for their situation, soul-crushing for the goals they have set for themselves, building that roster with everyone's kind of questioning, doubting what they were doing, but their reasoning for this was to lift titles. We're not talking about titles right now. We're talking about making it to the major. That is the very first step of a long road, but they had to survive it.
It brings me back to when people were a little bit clowning that Heroic was so excited to make it to the major, and they were so excited. But we see similar things here, right? It is because you have these struggles of these respective teams, and especially when we hone it in on Vitality specifically, of, oh my God, this cannot not work. That would be insane. But it didn't for a while.
And it goes back to the format. Again, we have been harping this point, the fact that for the very first time in a long amount of years, teams could actually get eliminated from the major in one event. That is it. There is no legend spot guaranteeing you to the quarterfinals or anything. No. It is one Swiss system. You miss a few days, you're out.
And we were talking about it before, that maybe people had some qualms, right, about how some teams can qualify. But for Vitality, it was MOUZ. You needed to beat MOUZ, right? And you expect that you would be able to do that. And they did. They now have 2 weeks, you know, give or take, before they have to start there. Pimp, what do you see in the future of Vitality?
Well, hopefully something much better than what we've seen in this tournament. There's been a few positive signs coming out of Vitality. Coming into the tournament, it was rough, right? That Skate best of 3 online loss, you know, I know it was not a big tournament for them, but that was just the essence of all the problems. I felt they were simply not at a level to compete where they were supposed to. At this tournament, they came close beating FaZe, they came somewhat close beating Na'Vi, right? So they're showing signs of progress, and hopefully 2 weeks is enough for them to be even more competitive at the major. But I think we have to be realistic with our expectations. This is not a roster that is coming into the major right now as one of the favorites to make it deep. You know, if they can go to the playoff, that in itself would be, I think, a victory for Vitality, but it's looking rough.
We do have Apex with us, so Mathieu, you're going to be able to ask him a couple of questions. Hello, Apex. Congratulations.
Hello, thank you. I just want to ask Pimp how many tournaments he won in his career. It's really important for me.
0.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, that's off to a great start, I think, there, Apex. Félicitations. So talk me through... Oh, he's still going, Pimp. But talk me through the matches today, and specifically the turnaround for Vitality, starting from Dust 2 and then finishing it on Mirage.
Well, today was a tough day. I don't think we played good. We had some good momentum, but overall we played pretty bad. But we had some hero plays that helped us to play good as a team. And thanks to Dupree, most likely, I mean everyone in the team that played really strong. And yeah, I just think as a team we just didn't play well enough.
Danny, I want to ask you, first of all, congratulations, you made it.
Thank you.
This was a very hard game to win, also a hard game to watch. I see you guys sometimes giving away very powerful and good situations. Do you also sometimes feel like you lack that, you know, that certainty to close the round?
I mean, I think we played a decent tournament, even though we lost 2 games and that one was close. We should have won at least one map against Na'Vi, and maybe the one against FaZe when we were up. We have a bit of problem to closing games. We were 14-10 up on Mirage against FaZe, 13-12 against Na'Vi, and yeah, we just like not playing good enough at that moment. But yeah, I mean, obviously we came here with a higher expectation that we've done before, because it wasn't like beautiful CS what we've done in the last few months. But I think we improved a lot, and yeah, Mirage was a map that we never won, and that's the first time we won Mirage. So I'm just happy. I think we lost the 2 best team in the world on it, that are Na'Vi and FaZe on Mirage. We were close. We're getting stronger. We still have obviously some weak parts that we have to work on. But it's getting better. Obviously, it's the hardest qualifier I've done in my life. I played the best team in the world, the second best team in the world, and in Decider, Mousesport, that are also a decent team. So yeah, that was, I think I never played that kind of team even in the group stage major. So yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, we were not used to it. What do you make of this tournament for your team, Vitality, your performance, compared to where you were a few months back? Do you still see this as a positive, a good evolution, a good improvement?
Of course, when we see the other games we played, except today, I think that was good CS we played. We were really close, even though close is not enough of winning. I know that, and I have no problem. Obviously, we didn't deserve to win against Na'Vi on FaZe, because we didn't win. So that's it for me. But we still play close, and that was a much better showing than in Pro League and than in and than Katowice for me. We're improving. We're trying to finding our way to play CS. It's getting better. Now we have 2.5 weeks to play Counter-Strike and improve as well. I'm just really proud of my mates, like not giving up and also showing some really good individual performance. Like I think Dupree since the beginning of the team is like insane. He's really good and it helps us a lot. As I would today, he showed up and he played really well as well. So, and Magis has a strong Mirage. Yeah, so that's the 3 guys that need to frag for us, and they do it really well. So I'm just proud of them. Also of Mizuta, but he has the hardest role, so it's different. But for the 3 others, they played really well, and I'm proud of them.
Then it's no secret it hasn't been the best start, but as a lot of us have talked about, time is of the essence for you. You as an in-game leader in this lineup, how stressful has it been for you to integrate 3, I guess, new people into your lineup? Is that something that we underestimate here on the desk?
Of course you do. Of course. Well, the other thing for me is just to keep my identity as a game leader, but also putting those players that are really experienced into my system. And it's not easy. It's not. I mean, Shox is not Magisk, and obviously Kyojin or IPK were more soldiers than Dupree is. So we just need to fit them in the system, and that's never easy because the last 2 years I had way more control on what we were doing. Like I was calling everything, like micromanaging and calling from A to Z. But right now it's way different. So I just need to find my groove in that. And sometimes I have, sometimes I haven't. And that's not easy, but we keep rolling, and I think we're improving, and that's what is the most important.
Then you called me out.
Picking at this tournament.
Yeah, sorry?
Picking at this tournament is not the most important. So.
Of course, you got the job done right. You called me out on having won 0 trophies, and that's true, because you didn't carry me the one time we did play together. I have a question for you, though, right? Then, in this instance, right, I spoke about the expectations from me and the fans. What can we expect from you guys in 2 weeks at the Major? Are you still a team you believe can win the Major, or are we at a place where you still need more time?
No, right now, I'm not sure we are at the level of FaZe or Navi team. But in 2 weeks, it's going to be maybe different. We gave our ass to become prepared this tournament. We did the boot camp. We played. We played so much. We discussed so much of our game and all that stuff, and that worked for us this tournament. We saw big improvement from the last one, and our identity is coming back and stuff like that. So now it's just focusing on improving again and just step by step. I don't think. I mean. Winning a major is always a bit lucky in some sense, and also the Danes stating that for the bracket side, for all that stuff. So let's see how it goes. I think it's step by step. First, we are in challenger stage. Let's go to the legend stage, and let's see step by step. But I'm pretty sure our groups. Our games will be less hard than those one in this tournament, that's for sure.
Yeah. Maybe because of the draw you got here, you'll get a little bit more lucky when it
I
comes
don't know
to
those Bushels guys. I don't really like
have
him.
beef with him. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Can you please fire him or something?
Well, I'll go
You're
find
so
him.
aggressive today, man.
I'll go find him. I love it. But
Just
merci beaucoup. Félicitations de nouveau. And we'll see you at the Major, Apex.
Yeah, see you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Danny.
Wow. Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Does that happen all the time?
Yeah, well, we are supposed to be friends, I guess, but after that
I
one,
love it. That was really
I'm gonna
fun.
have a word with him. You know?
It was really fun, and he was very talkative. He had a lot to say. We can't talk about
Always.
it, though. I got to throw to a break because we've got Outsiders
enough.
versus SAW coming up. Thank you very much for today. Vitality makes it to the Major. After all, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back to preview Outsiders versus SAW. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. Battle is on. Burst RMR views with a double bonus. Get insurance for single and combo bets, both up to €20. Fire up with GGBet. GGBet, this is real.
It is the last spot left for the major here at the RMR European A side of things. And we've got an interesting matchup. It's Saw going up against Outsiders. We've swapped things around on the desk. We got Blair, we got Prof. We put you back together again. Blair is actually rocking a nice leather jacket. You look pretty good today, mate.
Are you implying it doesn't look good otherwise?
You know, sometimes you've got a bit more of the rocker mood look going on.
Well, you know what?
Leather jackets, yeah.
A leather jacket can make anyone look good, Banks. So, but thank you, I do appreciate it.
And Prof, no turtleneck, but a shirt on.
No, I mean, I need to diversify my style and just my branding. I don't want to be just like the turtleneck guy, right? There are other people trying to get on the turtleneck hype train. You saw Pimp. You saw Pimp, Yakindar. I'm like, this is kind of becoming lame now. I'm just going to leave, so...
I mean, you are a trendsetter. You're not just going to keep following the trend.
But yeah, you can't live the trend forever. You need to set the trend, enjoy the trend, and then leave before all of the plebs get out.
Basically like Madonna, reinvent.
Yeah.
It's all about progression, boys. And you know what we're going to progress to? Looking at our lovely schedule we've got. Because it is just one more game to go. There's also a game going on the B stream right now because Navi's going to be up against Forza for that legend spot because both teams have already qualified. Still a wild thing when I think the Forza's actually through at this point. But our last game that we need to look at now is this Saw taking on Outsiders. But we just touched on the Vitality side of things. Still a bit touch and go for them. Not looking so great overall. And OG, dear God help them.
It's kind of unacceptable, right? Like you come into this yesterday at the end of the day, we were just looking at these matchups, and you're like, all right, which one can be close, which one can be potentially 50-50? And I think most of us like the Vitality mouse could be dangerous for Vitality, and it was seen in the server. But if you look at the other two matchups, you're talking about Outsiders, and you look at OG, and you're like, this should be an easy game for both of them. And OG capitulating after Nexa coming in. It's not like it came in last month, man. They had a pretty decent run, and just not making it to the major, in my eyes, for OG, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, and especially because the opponents that they faced, it's not the same as Vitality's run where it had FaZe, Na'Vi, and now Mousesports. So the teams that they faced, the teams that they lost to, are not that they lost to Force and Eternal Fire. These are two teams that we didn't expect to go through, right? When we look at the teams, we were like, these maybe can squeeze. Both of them beat OG, right? And that's the worrying sign.
Well, one of the teams that we were expecting to qualify is an Outsiders, but there's a new challenger that could be making it through, and it's Saw. Now, guys, I've got to be honest here. When it comes to Saw, I have a sweet spot for these guys. I want them to do well. I want to see this hype come out from these guys, They bring a very passionate nation behind them, and also it's a non-Brazilian side in the same way that they speak the same language and gives us all that hype and emotions with it. Why not?
And also the fact that the average age is one of the highest, not one of the...
So it fits all of us lot, the old boys.
Exactly. For boomers like us, Banks, it's more like, yeah, you know what? We kind of want them to make it, and we want them to have these upset games, and they have. Yeah. They had, but unfortunately, I have to be real. For them to take down Outsiders, even though they have looked shaky as well, it's going to require a Herculean effort. And honestly, Prof, as much as I love the Saw guys and the fact that they've been representing Portuguese Counter-Strike for over a decade, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's a David and Goliath match, as they like to put it. Although the Goliath is he's kind of hungover, not really in shape, but I still feel like David's going to have a hard time going in.
And this is a David, it's kind of beyond his the prime of his youth
not
as
his
well.
prime anymore.
Prof, you're telling me that Outsiders have been on the Voddy all last night, and they're just waking up, kind of dazed and confused.
Metaphorically speaking.
Honestly, like if you look at how they've been playing at this event, it wouldn't be outrageous to say something like that. Obviously, they're trying their best, but this isn't the Outsiders, Yakindar, James team that we used to seeing throughout the last year.
That is very true, but let's see what Outsiders team we're going to get today. Now, this team right here, they certainly know how to draw out a game. A long game, a long series is what these guys are known for. But I'll be honest, right? We look down their results in this, and you start to question where this team's at once again. I look at that Dignitas game. There was a chance where they were losing that game 2-0 yesterday, Blair.
A chance? Like, it came down to literally a couple of 1v1s at the very end, and we could literally be talking about the other veterans in the scene. We could be talking about Saw. We have, you know, like, so many veterans in the scene, and we have, like, Forrest and Freiburg. It could have happened. This could be Dignitas, and that would have been unthinkable, right? And that almost transpired. So for Outsiders, look, let's be real, there are a lot of extenuating circumstances, not just for this team, for a lot of teams in the region as well. But I look at them and how they started this year. When they got in Flit, they got him into the system. An ESL Challenger, albeit against lesser teams, they were fantastic. IM Katowice, almost till the final couple of games, they were incredible. And then they crumbled. Pro League, they were nowhere to be found. And over here, like you said, getting smashed by Big, losing to Mouse, and almost losing to Dignitas. This is not the Outsiders we expect to see.
And they do have some, obviously, circumstances that we're all aware of why that might be affecting them for sure. But also, we're seeing different players on this team step up now. We're going to bring up a little bit of a highlight here between Muteris and Kicker. Kicker on your screens right now because, you know what, we're always talking about Jame. We're always talking about Yakinda. But right now, Kicker is the highest rated player for this side of Outsiders. And he's gone up against a Muteris who, you look at the rating difference in here, there's a big disparity.
Yeah, and Muteris is the highest rated player for SAW.
Yeah.
It just also does show the difference, but I mean, SAW is also a team that is expected to scrape by some wins, and they had a couple of blowouts against Forest, so that kind of kills your rating. Going back to Kickert, he's someone, Yakinda even said it in one of these content pieces, he was asked about him, like he's a big game player, and I know when you think big games, you think about like grand finals and all of this, but for them, also just getting through this and getting to the major, that is when you need to step up, and you need to make sure that even if in these situations where you're playing against Dignitas and you're losing, that someone gets that round, gets that play, makes the move that's going to win you the round.
Absolutely, and we saw that against Dignitas as well when the going was when it was looking pretty rough for the side of Outsiders. Kicker was just a hero multiple times and was playing at a level we knew he could always reach, but he never showed too much. But as you said, he's been so clutch, so impactful for his team, and I think it's pretty cool to highlight that in a team of Yakinda and Jame and all these guys, he's the one who's kind of the star player right now.
Now, we're also going to look down at this situation between the AWPers in here, right? Stododu going up against Jame. Now, we know what Jame can do. We know Jame is certainly more capable when it comes to AWP. Yesterday, he nearly pulled off that crazy 1v2, you know, where he flew out. We thought he was all making the wrong decisions. But again, big difference here. But I will point out as well that all the players on SAW, other than what you saw on Muteris, are below a 1.0 rating. That's like... How have you got this far doing that?
And the reason we gave these two names is I don't think it's not necessarily for the AWPing prowess, but obviously it's interesting that it's the two AWP players coming in. But for Stododu and Jame, their approach to the game when it comes to these sort of like clutch situations. Let me bring up a couple of rounds here, right? You talked about Stododu yesterday, 3v2. They have the B bomb site in Inferno, and he just goes for a call with the AWP, just legs it to the A bomb site all alone with his one CD still lying in wait with the bomb. They had that round, and they lost it. And I feel like he sometimes makes some of these more panicky decisions, so to speak. And Jame, you saw him in the 1v2. Cool, calm, collected, and lost it around with a millisecond to spare. That's a difference in mentality.
Do you know who James like? He's like Launders. You know, nothing seems to bother him. He just goes at his own pace through life. They're the same people, just chilling, going forward. But we do have our map picks coming on the screen. And for me, when you look down this, boys, is there an advantage we can get here for either side? Or should this just be Outsiders like you've already been preferencing?
The problem here for SAW is the nuke permaban from Outsiders coming in. That's just the map they don't play, and that's a map that SAW is... That's their best map, and that's instantly out of the combination here, and that's really rough. Interesting pick of Ancient.
Both these picks are very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we expected Overpass to be picked by Outsiders and Vertigo to be picked by SAW, right?
Yep.
Maybe they're mind-gaming a lot. Look, for SAW, they are clearly the underdogs here, so I don't really blame them, so to speak, of picking Ancient, right? It is a map which they can potentially kind of pull off an upset on, but this Dust to pick from Outsiders, I thought it was kind of going to be the decider. Yeah,
it seemed like Overpass was a better option for them. SAW kind of struggled on the map, but also Dust 2 has always been, you know, a J map, and we saw SAW yesterday not really putting up a fight against Forest. They were literally destroyed on every part of the map. So I think probably they looked into that and saw like, yeah, this is like bread and butter. Let's not overcomplicate it, overpass, and go with this map.
Personally, I would like Outsiders to play like the favorites and be like, yeah, sure, we might see your weaknesses and dust too. We're just going to go to overpass because we're just a better team.
Yeah.
Right? It's a map that they are probably one of the best in the world on. And it's kind of weird to say that about Outsiders, but if their map pool, I feel like it's been slowly been kind of narrowing over time, and overpass is the one still fortress they have. And the fact that they haven't picked it is a bit of a surprise, James.
Well, let's see if there is going to be any surprise in this game, or if it's going to be Outsiders taking the win. Maybe Saw can pull something amazing off, but I know two commentators who love commentating the Outsiders team, and that's Hugo and Harry.
Oh, hell yeah, we do, man. I feel like you're always destined for a nice, long, old series with this Outsiders squad, right? I mean, and the Dignitas one delivered in spades just yesterday. I think this one's going to live up to the hype as well, right? For Saw, this is one of the most important moments, really, throughout these guys' pretty long careers, you know, dating back all the way to, like, the kick days for guys like Amutiris. He's had, like, many pieces of this squad in and out of that roster, and now it's been, like, this getting the band back together almost, like, time period. And it's super cool to even have them here, you know, being real. So I think, you know, this is such an important moment for this team. I'm assuming they're going to be bringing their A game.
Yeah. A lot harder when you don't have your best map in the pool for sure. Dust 2 for Outsiders. It's their pick to start off the series, and I'm very excited. They always give us a banging game, whether it's whether it's a win or a loss. Like, they long it out, Harry. They make every team work for it. They already took down some legends in Dig yesterday. They're going to try and do it again with some of these old school names. What a fake right now. Flit is all the way up long, but they're still defaulting. James is still in T-spawn. The bomb has not moved out of its original destination, despite Flit almost getting into that A bomb site. Imagine if he crossed in. James, what's he looking at? What's he waiting for? Quick smoke over Xbox. And this guy, he's in no hurry. He'll get his major spot when he's good and ready.
Yeah, with no reaction from, you know, like Flit running up the A site, I am kind of left wondering what the grandiose idea was here. They're going to try to take Catwalk now, walking down it with 3. Utiris and Just going to get a kill apiece, and so this is kind of cooked. This one's pretty much done. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't like a stage 2 to that plan. It was like, Flit, you're going to go up long, bud. You're going to sell the A play. What are we going to do? That's a good question. What are we going to do?
That felt like a read. That felt like a prepped pistol. Like you've come up with an idea, or maybe Flit's called that I've got a gap, I've got all this space, I'm going to do something with it. And, you know, Outsiders, if he crosses in, Harry, that whole round is pandemonium if he gets into the bomb site, but you never know. And James will die immediately on the B bomb site. You know, he takes his time, Harry, and it comes to the same conclusion we all expected in that 5-on-1. Yeah, not going to read into it too much. It's Outsiders. They, you know, how else are they going to long it out, Harry? They're going to give away a pistol here and there.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, some would say they only really start playing the game when they kind of get to like 8-9 rounds in.
Sometimes even later.
Let's catch a whiff of what they're bringing into this round. Right, we got the scout for James, force buy in for the Outsiders. Saw they do have a man in middle. James looking for him. The man in the middle, that is. Now with a swing, still hasn't seen them yet. Ready to double peek this as Saw, and it's good damage. James on the receiving end of Roman's A1S. And that's going to send Outsiders back towards these long doors.
James, he looks like he wants to do the Zai Wu smoke, maybe. The hinge smoke, line up with the scout. Goes back to line exactly that up. Double scope. Oh, changes his mind. Instead, going to pop his team long. They want to go. And there's only one man here. Arky in the pit. Shouldn't be blinded too much by this flash. He can cover. Out it goes. All right, wall of smokes. They're going to use this to get pit. That's the game plan. Get a scout, set up in this pit position. Arky's seen the smokes. He's backed off. He knows he needs to tunnel in dig a little hole. They've got to clear it, though. It seems obvious for Outsiders. The jump will confirm. Stododa can't really help out Kicker. That's a lovely clear. Just tapping him down with the tech. Does loads more damage through the smoke. And now you've got a rifle and all this long control. Outsiders are really cheeky. 30 seconds, so they can't wait forever. Buster's walking into B, but this bomb can't come and join him. There's simply no time for a rotate. It has to be A, and Buster's got to go now.
Yeah, he might be able to like get some 6 CT spawn wrap off, but if his teammates don't make it into the site, it's never gonna matter. The bomb's been dropped. Buster, oh no, buddy. And now
baby.
Kicker dead on the cross. James, you need to die, but I know that kind of goes against your whole shtick, but he will get mowed down. And so Saw able to recover that one. It's a shame, you know, I thought Outsiders were kicking it into top gear. They had a really cool wall of smokes down towards the long side there. That's such a neat idea.
Yeah, if only they saved one more smoke. We saw that long cross at the end. They only had one, Harry. One! And it was on the end. It's not like they even put it in the middle. They're like, yeah, we're going to use a lineup and then we're going to jump the rest. Like, no, if you're going to do one of them, you should do the first one so you can at least get close to jump the edge. Otherwise, you're jumping into a smoke that you can still get spammed through. So, yeah, right now we're seeing some cooked rounds out of Outsiders, but there's something to them, Harry. There's something behind them. There's a game plan deep down if you dig enough in there. However, Saw is stepping up and they're not letting the weirdness, the wackiness of the Outsiders catch them by surprise. You know, Saw are not favorites, right? There's no sugarcoating it. The veto certainly helps Outsiders as well. But one thing that is nice for this series is we saw Outsiders play this map the other day against Big. They got bullied, they got beat, they got bested. And, you know, it was Big. They did go 3-0, taking down FaZe as well. But even so, this has often been a go-to map for Outsiders, as it often is for CISCS. So nice couple of rounds out of Saw, keeping calm. I'm surprised no one peeks there after time, right? James committed at car with 4 seconds. You can guarantee a kill after time there, really.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't abuse that enough in 1vx's, or XV1s, I guess, knowing that you can just. If you're ruining James' money, you're in his head. Because this guy is the accountant of Counter-Strike.
No, I mean, dude, that's very, very true. You know, I think one of the teams that kind of do that the best and always have done are Big. And, you know, look where that's got them. They're in a good spot, aren't they? So,
especially when GodB was in the team, they were actually so good at everyone believed in the don't peek philosophy, and there were so many clips of players running to die with 10 seconds left, and Big are just running away, and then you're in the open trying to chase them, and then they all peek you after the clock. It's really annoying, and it actually goes such a long way. Stododo's on a USP, saving for the big green.
I'll say this, though. You know, I think the reason why Saw don't do any of that is they just want to be winning rounds. You know, for these guys, this is such an important series. This is
what an opportunity.
Probably the biggest moment they've ever been in. You know, and a chance to really, kind of, you know, send one home. You know, So I think you're just taking everything the moment you get given the opportunity.
Yeah, especially some of these guys have been playing, you know, they've been going for a decade now. So, you know, we've seen players like Maturis back in the day.
There we go. Little flusher by for Stododo. And he's already got 1 kill from it. Mutiris even pushing down short. Well, back away. Doesn't want to feed the beast down here in middle. Ooh, clean for Kicker. Any more from this Deeg? No, they run into the USP of Stododo, and it's a little too much. It's a little too strong. He's mowing them down. And with support from that A1S, it's nice, it's clean, 4 alive, and the fact that you actually get out with the A1 on Stododo means that it kind of feels like you didn't even really lose anything in that round there.
Yeah, which ones are Outsiders again? Because right now it seems like the money game is just being won out by the CTs. Obviously early days, waiting for that gun round from Outsiders, and now they're going to have it. Stododo will be AWPing, so we're going to see that immediately here into this first rifle. James looking for the cross shot, misses the jump up, and that's probably the reason he doesn't get the shot. It was very close through the wall, but doesn't get on his teammate's head in time, and Stododo, no middleman in that engagement, he just direct delivers a death to James. 5-on-4, and it's a beautiful beginning to this map for Saw, knowing how much this means, looking for this big upset, but the job isn't done.
That's a lovely nade. Gutierrez doesn't really seem too bothered by it, though. Still approaching this as though he's full HP dude, just hanging out on the short side, taking the little info jiggles and jumps over the top. I like the response to the hinge smoke, just mollying it kind of nullifies that smoke for a good while. In a second molly, okay, so you've actually stopped them getting up the Xbox, which is normally the whole purpose behind that smoke, gives you the safety net to move on up. With a double molly going down, that smoke's already faded by the time that Buster's able to get there. So, you know, outsiders need to make a move. Kicker trying to get out the long side. The rest of outsiders down here in lower. He is all alone and fed to the wolves. The fact he goes 1 for 1 is kind of impressive. Like, I mean, had no real business even getting away with that first. Still, it's not enough for the outsiders. It's going to come down to this 3-man B pop through the smoke into this B site. The opener found by Yakinda. Well, they flush out Roman, who's standing the test of time right now. Good for a double. And only Flit left at the very end of things, being told to get the hell out of there with this AWP. Hold on to it. Live to fight another day. But it is Saw now up 4-0. This is a very convincing start.
Yeah. They're disrupting the game plan so well from outsiders. Some of these rounds have been a bit weird, but that one was super clear in the game plan. Kick it late long with a cat take. But like you said, with that double molly in middle, no cat take, not allowed. Outsiders don't want to risk crossing through the or past the double doors when they already know the AWP is located there. Really, really nice reaction from Saw. And yeah, it's a great entry from Yakinda in B. The perfect smoke to clear that close left corner, but it doesn't matter. Roman holds on. And Saw keep building back bigger and better, leading on this CT side right now on their opponent's map pick. We're also seeing, you know, some of this util for outsiders. It's getting a bit strange. They're not holding on to everything they need. The example was that long cross smoke where they didn't buy or hold enough utility for the closing round. Right there again, didn't really have much going through B to assist them on their attack other than that one smoke. Jamie's got his AWP back at least. Still deathless for Stododo.
Yeah, I mean, this 8-0 start, it's got to feel good, right? It's got to feel good. And he's got James to face off against in this round. Will he keep himself flawless? James waiting in middle with the AWP, hoping that he's going to get given away in. Given an opener, but outsiders, or sorry, Saw not moving a muscle. So the outsiders, once again, you know, they've got to be the ones to make a move here. A lot of the attention on James, and rightfully so. I mean, they saved that AWP for him, right? They tried to set him up to make something happen here. So let's see if he can find them a way in. Dropping a bit of util over on the short side. Might try and self-flash. Give himself an angle. They're going to boost up over this smoke. And he looks into the side, but nobody there for Saw. And now that molly even tagging up the two players that were trying to boost. Outsiders looking to move in, looking to go now. Stododo here with his AWP, flashed off the angle. This is good space getting created by outsiders, right? They recognize that there's no one in the site, and while it did deny them a chance at that opening pick, it has given them room to get this bomb planted. It's some weird little, I was going to say 5v5 retake, but the silence has been broken by Arky at Car, and Gutierrez has already snuck up the ramp, ready to push on in. This retake's looking very clean, and it's all starting to go wrong for the outsiders. They've seen Flit in middle. At this point, he's got to go back up Cat if he wanted to win the round, and it's already too late. Sorta on the bomb, even if he ran it, ignoring that he's in a 1v5. I think he would have run out of time regardless. So there we are, 5-0. Saw on fire to open this one up.
Yeah, it's fine for Flit. He keeps his armor right, and obviously he still gets loss bonus because it was diffused. It wasn't after time, so he can buy up AK. He's fine. AWP will still be here, but right now it's cleanly calmed. The AWP is hitting shots. Nothing's going wrong for Saw.
And I mean, I don't want to say it, but you know, dude, throughout the entirety of this RMR, you know, the kind of normal obscene beauty with how Outsiders play, their ability to run it down to the wire, the way that they manage their money, their entire playstyle, you know, normally has this real elegance about it. Hang on a moment, James jump spotted them. I want to go back to that point, but right now Roman's in hot water, and yeah, dude, big clear for James. I do like that little jump spot. I think it was in the FaZe game the other day. We saw Twists abusing that same location, right, over in middle. Leaves you in a bit of a blind spot from the suicide peak.
Oh, will he hit the wall bang this time? He went for it. It's so scary. Nowadays, you drop that hinge smoke, you've got to run immediately. Someone's going to spam it through the smoke with a flash. Yakinda caught out, lobbing nades, flit trades, and luckily there's no cover from that ult because of the hinge smoke, but even so, Saw, they finally show a bit of aggression in the CT side, trying to catch Yakinda off. It's good for a kill, but it's dug a hole deep in a grave that Outsiders will lay Saw in. They've already split A. Bomb's going to take its time on Buster. Riskily having to climb up, always a fear, but Saw were gambling. They were leading for a B save anyway. If Outsiders came this way, they would have gone for it, but now Outsiders, they might go after time. Maybe hunting this one down, kick it, and James is still hanging around towards that B bomb site. They know where they've got Saw trapped in. They just need to confirm that this is not an attempt at some redonkulous 2-on-4. And that much is assured now. So finally, Outsiders break their silent streak. They get on the board on this T half. And Saw should thank their lucky stars if they get away with these guns.
So what I was trying to say coming into that round, and I'd love to know your opinion on this, right, Hugo, is like Outsiders at the RMR, at this event, it feels like that very like signature style that they have that often has like a real elegance around it. Hasn't looked as clean, hasn't looked as pretty. You know, it feels like almost like an imitation of artwork as opposed to the normal works of art that James is producing.
Okay.
Just doesn't feel one-to-one with what I'm used to seeing. And at first I thought maybe it was like one of these slow starts. And while, you know, they were able to like build back in and win it out over Dignitas just the other day in that series, for example, there's just been like moments of shakiness that I wouldn't normally attribute to this Outsiders team.
It's been their T sides without a doubt, right? They have looked pretty weak all in all. Especially, I think what you're mainly thinking about is that Mirage game, right? That first game against Dig was really not nice, and a lot of rounds where they were just saving with 2-on-5s and they couldn't get any space. And even the beginning of this Dust game looked kind of similar, like where we can't quite figure out what the plan is behind some of these ideas. They're there. Maybe they worked once, but yeah, I think T-sides have been the problem, but you know, to continue to harp on it, they're a team that just never give up. They'll be down 10-5 and they'll still, you know, lose a pistol and still get a first rifle and start picking up steam, putting together 9-10 round streaks. So you got to keep that in mind. I think, you know, they just need a few T rounds to get going. In that Dig game, it definitely needed the warm-up, but once they got it, man, by that third map, they were just in full control of that entire game. A few crunch rounds for Dig near the end on that T side, but ultimately, Outsiders, that one looked pretty clear, pretty clean cut. Let's see what this T side looks now. They force Saw out of middle. It's often been this double aggressive setup with the AWP. Now they were already back to CT spawn with their AWP, and Outsiders don't want to play with it. Materials behind the smoke, got to care for spam. James looking for a mid pick, but everyone's so passive now. Does the Dodo want to break that silence? Still need to die. And it's just James off the angle, but James immediately gets back on. He even got team flash out of it a second time. It's a bit awkward, but it's not the end of the world. Meanwhile, Saw are ready to pop up on Cat. They're walking it dry with no flash, just walking aggressive. Flit is ready for it. He's trapped in the corner, but there's the teamwork coming out from Yakinda, trading him, or helping him out, rather. James gets wallbang headshot by the AWP, and they're just going to run away. They've got A for free again. As Saw lean B, they are left with nothing.
Yeah, man, that's a bit of a shame, right? Yeah, the double up on short, the no util swing. You know, when you're up against Outsiders, you kind of need to be ready for anything, and they are like double set up on the short side, hoping that you were going to make a play exactly like that, right? They were almost beckoning you to take that short peek because they were so ready to lock you out and use that as a way to open up this A play. Here is an Arky end up giving Outsiders away into that round. And, you know, it is just like a very kind of big risk to have taken with the double hold at the A site, both pushing short. There was no contingency. It's not like you have, you know, that third man that's maybe like leaning towards long and is able to set up in some way to try, you know, put a bit of pressure on the site if that ends up going the way of Outsiders.
I think it's coming off the confidence as well. When you start 5-0, you're feeling really good, you're calling, you're calling for flashes, you're playing aggressive. Stododo has all these mid angles and mid fights he's winning. But the 2 rounds that Outsiders have won have been the rounds where Saw have tried to make plays, right? Once flashing through the mid hinge smoke and killing Yakinda, got them a kill, but also lost him so much real estate, and Outsiders just take A quick. And right there again, just, you know, not even flashing, just walking up on catwalk, you lose 2 players, and Outsiders just run it into A. There have been weak A defenses, lots of B leans already in this map for Saw, but yeah, the aggressive plays are just playing into Outsiders' handbook there. They're so ready for it.
I wonder what it's doing to James, the fact that he's 1 in 6, right? And he's normally this like big, like at a bare minimum, you know you're going to get like good kills, low deaths. That's kind of like the James classic, right?
Yeah.
Lots of money saved, always on an AWP. His AWPing counterpart on the other side, 9-0, right? Still building into this. Stododo's about to get pressured. They're moving up the short side once again. They're trying to use the catwalk to break this A-bomb site open. Stododo goes up, over, and then down. Yakindar's going to find him.
So much deeper than that AWP was ready for. This is such a speedy round, and this is kind of what we like out of Outsiders, the ability to change the pace up. Not always these slow defaults. Every now and then you'll get rushed, and you won't be ready for it. You'll get caught with your pants down. There's the late lurk on long. This time, not even getting traded. Kicker kills Arky, and it's already a save. Saw, they'd love to hold on to these guns. Maturis, don't give him a reason to go for this retake. That's 2 kills as the hunt comes in CT spawn. His team are so far away, though. They're not considering this round. For a second, you get scared, but Saw hold on and try and keep their guns. Maturis might die to the bomb here. He's going to have to go wide, but he is tagged up. Jay making sure he's got him trapped in spawn, leaves at the last second, and Maturis will do the same. Let's keep his weapon after all. But 3 rounds for Outsiders. I do like the pace change there. And Outsiders building up into this T side. That was the shot. Not even lined up, not even based on anything. Just flick, AWP, wallbang headshot. Feels
Through
good.
smoke.
Yeah.
Trying to get the longest kill feed he can. But all right, Outsiders are starting to build back into this one now. That's what we all know they're so good at doing. You know, at one point in pretty much every series this team plays, you'll find yourself going, that's it, they're done. They can't win this. And then, you know, life finds a way. Let's see if that ends up happening here. Saw need to start to regain a semblance of control. It was a really good start for them. Like, really good. But now it started to slow down. And I mean, you've kind of almost got conditioned here to lean away, right? Because something that you said early on was like in the rounds where they've tried to make plays, these are often the ones where they've fallen short. There's kind of that element of, you know, this might restrict you a little bit now. You might try and tuck in. You might give away a little too much.
Yeah, the A-holds have been weak, right? That's the exploitation for Outsiders, often because they're getting mid-picks, as you just mentioned, but right there, the pace change, Stododo does not think that Yakinda has W mashed into default. He's scoping for the cat cross at Gandalf, and Yakinda's already on the site, so just beat him on the timing there. James, he keeps going for these mid-peaks. He's yet to get anything done with it. Nice spray from Yakinda, ready for 2, and he sprays, transfers a second one. They walk into his crosshair, and this problem continues. The aggro starts, play into Outsiders, and they find 3 kills in an instant. Stododo may as well throw himself somewhere. Nowhere is safe. They won't commit in B. They see the AWP, they back out. Outsiders not wanting to get 2v5'd, accidentally even smoked themselves as that hits the molly. Maturis at long wins his 1v1. But Outsiders, as long as they group, there shouldn't be a problem. Uh-oh. Ooh.
He landed the tag. Luckily enough, Yakinda walked the B tunnel smoke and actually comes in with this like side swipe into the B play. I mean, Tyrius hears them running up shot. Like, the bomb's still in spawn. Like,
It's dropping.
outsiders really are just looking to frag, looking to hunt down that last remaining man. And yeah, you know, that one spirals out of control. It's interesting to me that they double down on the calls to go aggressive, right? I was kind of expecting the opposite was going to happen. You know, maybe they play it too safely, maybe they tuck in too much, but no, they go, what if we keep going aggro, but just more? Like, what about just more men?
I mean, typically, your tunnels crunch with 3 players, 2 lower, 1
Normally
upper.
it's enough,
But that's
right?
a nice play. That's it. You know, it's a nice play that works against a lot of teams. It catches them off guard. We've seen no B aggression all map, but yeah, Yakinda just sprays 2 players, both headshots. And so now we're going to see what you're talking about, Harry. Now we're going to see the passive rifle rounds. Maybe there's an eco here first where, you know, it doesn't really matter what you do. But once we hit gunnies, back to playing very safe. And let Stododo work, right? Because he's been a nuisance in middle. So keep giving him the room to do so. Pause before we get there. Money still actually in play. Can get one more rifle. Why not? But yeah, this is no longer a 5-0 game. This is outsiders waking up, and it was about time.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, it always is, you know, this is always kind of the ebb and flow of how these games go. You know, it feels like it just takes them a little while to figure out exactly what it is you're trying to do, get in your head a little bit, you know, like kind of, it's such a shame, I think, that Tunnels Crunch gets repelled so decisively, because actually with how James been peeking middle, the fact that he doesn't like often lean into that boost right away, he's trying to kind of like take like a faster peek, right, by hopping straight down and then going to the boost a little later. It's certainly giving you the room to go for plays like that. And it almost feels like if it was any other round apart from that one, it actually would have been a good decision, right? Because sometimes you've only had, you know, maybe like one player leaning towards B. That round, it's unfortunate. 2 guys there. Yakinda, one of them, and he looks like he's having a very, very hot start to this series.
Yeah, some jokes are being cracked over in the Outsiders camp, seeing some laughing. So yeah, they're feeling pretty feisty right now. So don't want to get overwhelmed by the pressure here. That's the fear for these guys. Yeah, they may be older, they may be experienced, but in terms of playing these hugely important LAN matches for a major spot, they've not been in this position before, so it's something new. Got to stay focused. James keeps going for the mid-peak. Will miss the timing again. He's hoping for an AWP fight. There isn't one here. Stododo's relegated to a FAMAS. Long take coming in. No flash. They just swing it. And Kicker was caught. The Flip will trade almost 2. Maturis off the spray. Down to 10 health. And Stododo re-smokes the corner. So Outsiders locked out a long early and saw the perfect start to the round. The triple long take will pay off. But they've had no mid-info, so Stododo's got to care that Catwalk is corrupted. Meanwhile, Saw push B. It's hugely risky in a 4-on-3, but it's also the perfect call. They know Outsiders were focused on long in the early round. They know they have a bit of room. And man, they've got so much info right now. Can they set up on flanks in time?
Outsiders are still heading back out long. You know, this tunnels push, it's nice. It gets you the info that it's not the B play, but you still need to hold on to long. Looks like we're going to have a bit of a reposition for Stododo. He was playing inside of this A site. Well, now he's set himself up at Car. Hoping that from this position he can give his teammate a bit of a helping hand. A little, like, wall of smokes that's put up by the Saw squad, but the nade removes the man in pitch. Stododo dead after 1. Yakinda going to mop him up. But low HP on both him and Buster in this 2v2. 20 seconds. Yakinda trying to go back, but he's dead on this one. That's the bomb tumbling away with it. Any chance to win the round? And even swinging right at the very end there to find Buster.
Was he
Saw
going to
come
go
in with the
cat?
response.
Was he going to go cat with the bomb with 20 seconds? Was that the play? Because there's no time for B. Yakinda knows that. There's simply no time. Maybe he can make it cat 20 seconds. Feel like Yakinda knows his timings. That's still very audacious. Didn't believe there was a flanking player. I mean, at that point, if you want to make that play, you have to believe there's no flank. If you're gunning out, clearing corners, you won't have time. So it's a knife out play. You know, if there's no one there, he could backstab, but not going to happen. A rebuy for Saw as they pick up a massive round off that long take. Again, no AWP, but Stododo scoped, still looking down mid.
Yeah, with this scout, wanted to go toe-to-toe with James. Flash over, but doesn't go swinging on the back of it. Probably a good decision, really. Yakinda working this mid control. Is he ready for a close player? Even though the scout's rallying shot through, I'm assuming he was going to check for this. Instead, it's Roman getting that kill. And I mean, that really is the scout like selling you on this idea. Oh, I'm the only guy in middle. I'm the guy you got to worry about. Look at me, how much noise I'm making. Woo! And in reality, you know, Roman was sat there waiting in this little bait and switch setup the whole damn time.
There's always been double mid, right? That's because Saw have been leaning B. They've been 1B, 2 mid, and outsiders know that they've been abusing catwalk all game, but the double mid is still here, and Roman gets another. Flip won't be ready. The flash goes too deep. It does nothing. James can't even get there in time. Roman just bounces out like a bunny. And right now, outsiders, their eggs are getting cracked, Harry. 3 on 5. There's no treading going on. It's full-on boot stomping. They've got some smokes dropped on the ground. They can run a fake on this mid to B, or they can commit with it, realizing that that scout's lean back into CT spawn or headed towards A. They've got a bit of room. Kicker going to take it. He's got to get this entry right now. Roman, he's spotted the play. He knows what's going on. Just behind the car with good cover, but it's an instant headshot for Kicker. Low health, spam through the smoke. Buster trades another, and now there's a chance. A very quick plant on the box. Buster peeks for more, and outsiders keep double dipping now in a 2-on-2.
Even the AWP wants to go back in for more James. Oh, that's a tag onto Mutiras. And through tunnel comes the Dodo. They're holding for it. He does deal with Buster. And so James, low HP on both these players. They're going to double up on the tunnel side. Oh, first fight goes the way of James. But he's not ready for Mutiras. And so there he is, arriving late through the tunnels. Wonderful manipulation of the info, right? Wonderful way to sail James down the river, and with that defuse Saw, they're right back into this one.
Yeah, a very nice try. A 3-on-5 there from the offset. Roman doubles up in middle, and it comes down to a 1v1. So that's outsiders just doing what they do best, making these unwinnable rounds look good. But yeah, James, he kills one tunnels. He thinks he's just going to get insta-swung from door or window, as would be the expected play after hitting Matiris in mid. But nice reset, and they group up for a 2-on-1. Saw. Oh, this is the first time James not boosted for mid. He's run down. He's got a player trapped. They've got to smoke their way out. The molly will do nothing. That player has already escaped. But that's really awkward for James. The first time he's not gone for that pick, they actually make a play out middle. He has forced them back to the bomb sites, but that one's got to be really annoying.
Whoa. Oh my. Buster with a bit of smoke spam. It's the Dodo. Low on the other side of it. Hinge smoke dropped in by Yakinda, giving you a path up onto the catwalk should you choose to take it. Stododo, look at him go, pushing in to the upper tunnels. Buster holding for this. And the timings. That is some of the rough. That is Counter-Strike right there. He's held that for a solid, 30, 40 seconds, and just as he slinks off the angle, that's when they take it back. Oh, he's missed the timing again. Buster, how could they have done you like this? Oh my God, now just as... No, he's got it, No way you messed that one up. And now, up the short side into this A play, outsiders moving in. Yakinda are going to try and do something weird around this smoke. Matir is waiting at Goose. This is a golden opportunity, a golden Goose. If he finds anything from this, instead it's Yakinda and Flit just tapping out these players inside of the A site. Might have been a triple lean, but they're dismantled entirely. Stododo moving up through CT. He's gonna have to like jump for this, man. He's gonna have to do something wild as he's all alone now. 1v3, might have a chance at the ramp fight.
Oh.
Missed shot for both. Oh dear. Oh no, it's gotten very ugly very quickly for Stododo. And Yakinder, beautiful round out of this guy.
Yeah, him and Flit, that double entry team, when they're running insights together, it's a glorious look. Carry on T side, great headshots, that hard clear on the Goose player, 2 long picks as well. Could not have gone better for Outsiders. I am enjoying what Sora using their utility for, though. They're not often using these smokes for choke points, mainly because you don't know when Outsiders are going to commit. You know, is it a fast one? Is it a slow one? Am I getting faked? So what they do is when they know it's a commit, they're like right-clicking smokes in the open and playing behind them. We see them doing it on long, where they get Arky trapped in pit and trying to bail them out with corner smokes and making walls. Right there, was it Maturius or the Goose player just drops more smokes on the bomb site, really delays Outsiders, but they don't panic, they don't go through it and risk it, they just wait 5-10 seconds and then they double entry into A. Great kills. Maturius on the corner, getting cleared. And Flit, got to be very careful, but Maturius jumps away while Flit's pulling nades.
He's like, nope, fine, we just won't fight then.
Yeah, I mean, you're delaying the inevitable with USPs, and maybe they regress, right? This is a good round to just everyone group up middle. Look at this play for Saw. They're hoping for a mid to be, and if it doesn't come through, they're going to be the aggressors through this door. Flit walking into danger zone, and he's going to get 2, maybe all, maybe 4. Maturius shuts it out after 3. Pistol out, trade that kill, and eventually James taps it. It's Outsiders getting a nice clean anti-eco, and looking to win the T side still.
James got himself a little B spawn here. It's Flit AWPing mid, and that might give you a false sense of security. You know, you hear the AWP firing off middle. Every bone in your body is going, that's James. And it wasn't. He's actually taken the AWP into the tunnels to get himself posted there early. Didn't try to take like some early peek with this spawn. Didn't try to like get involved in an early fight. I kind of thought that was the idea because they bought an extra AWP to like sell the idea that James was scoped up middle. Yeah. I'm assuming then, you know, they were thinking Saw were maybe going to try this tunnels aggro again in response to hearing this. Kicker with the second AWP.
Oh no.
Just misses that timing onto Stododo at long.
Going back for the AK. He did that just for 1 peek, just to make sure the AWP wasn't there, and guess what it was? Never left. Stododo goes back though, caught to Goose. Maturius gets seen, he gets out though. That molly does nothing. 2 players on the ramp. Does he know that they're both in position? Again, this sight smoke for Maturius, just trying to buy time. Arky will win his fight. Now back to a desperate mid to be.
Now they go. Maturius wants to try and help. Might just come through this, hiding in the smoke at CT. Oh, he will go through, and it's a good timing. Right as that second mid player left. Smoked off in tunnels. They're just going to try to barrel through it. And they come just behind Big Box here with the first. Up, over, and he does drop Flit out of the round. It's only James, 1 versus 4. No choice but to run away to try and save this AWP. And he knows they're going to be hot on his heels right behind him. Every step of the way.
Yeah, Maturius won that round for Saw right with that smoke push. You see Outsiders get smoked off at B, and what they're waiting on is Kicker to get that kill. As soon as he kills a solo B player, they're about to run through that smoke, but he dies to a smoke push of his own. It's sweet irony for Outsiders, and with him dead, and with everyone rotating in, by the time Outsiders decide to hit that B bomb site, they're like, oh, we gotta go, we got nothing, we got no time, got no control. By the time they go through, there's already 3 CTs there throwing themselves in through from middle. So yeah, really nice round out of Maturius, just getting that massive kill onto Kicker. Outsiders, they love, you know, swapping up the lurkers on different maps, right? Often it's Flit on Mirage or Yakinder, sometimes in the double entry duo. This time it's Kicker, often lurking late out long on these T sides. You know, even in the past when Flit joined this team, it was Flit, you know, doing those long lurks. So we saw that interview where Outsiders talked about the changing of roles and how people are now more comfortable and the swaps that come with it. And now we're seeing the results of that. Kicker is back to his long lurk. Dodo scoped up with Arky hidden in the corner. Outsiders, the one route to rounds has been catwalk, but that has been predicated by picks in middle or on the A site, and right now they're doing nothing. A very safe setup for Saw. It's kind of what you wanted, Harry, now towards the end of the half. That's a beautiful grenade coming in from Maturis, and he's gone back full Alexi to pick one up out of the spawn to do it again. He could even finish these kills if he dunks them well enough. Getting laid up with Util. As Buster fakes out a B play, it won't cause much panic. They've been double B all damn game. They're fine. They're assured in this position. And now with Maturis hidden in Goose and Roman on, Arky in spawn, they've got a good setup to deal with this A-pop.
Maturis going to play around his little underhand smoke. Second nade goes out and it does whittle them down. Kindar makes it into CT. That comes as a surprise to Dodo. That's a hard one to say, isn't it? Arky dead as well, and now Buster's finished off.
Nice. That's the
beautiful.
A-hold of their dreams, man. That's what they've been trying to do all half.
I love the Alexi nade. Like cool, right? The decision to go back in a spawn, grab another nade. It does net a kill for Mutiris. Really nice stuff. Dodo gets wrecked from your Kindar dropping down, but he at least gets the info of like, oh, okay, they've got this guy trying to make a play. Everyone be ready for that. Maybe one of these B rotators can help us out there. And yeah, man, it was a lot more measured. It kind of, they went heavy towards the long side and were pretty lax with Catwalk, having like Mutiris be the guy to keep an eye on it. And once they'd really locked down long in the early round, they felt very, very comfortable to rotate Arky up. He could help Mutiris. Also, it was quite sweet. He drops down to one nade. He keeps a smoke, and that's a smoke that he uses to save Mutiris when he gets mollied at Goose. Yeah. So, just some really nice, in the micro little details for Saw there.
Those GG bet odds were super nice to Outsiders, 1-4, for this right now, and they're down by 3. I think Saw are playing a solid game, but this is what we talked about in that first half. The CT comeback capability for Outsiders. It's all going to start with this. Kickett's running away. He hears the flash out middle. Flit's getting aggressive, but there's a lurker on Catwalk, and Arky has opened up. 3 in B for Outsiders. Certainly a nice setup, but Maturis has already picked one out of the ranks. He's seen both players, called that over. They're flooding into the B-bomb site, and Buster can't do a thing about it. It's only Jame a long way away, as is often the case, and Arky is here to shoot him in the face. 1 man left, and it shouldn't be stressful for Saw. This is their round with a bomb plant on B. Jame gets his kill, but he might just save his armor.
Yeah, with them being double pushed in mid like this, Jame cannot go for it. He feints the footsteps back like he's running away, and that will pull a peek into him. Is he ready for just how many there are here?
How is he doing this? He's moonwalking, counter-strafing, and just popping shots down middle. They're hunting him, though. They made it all the way up to top mid. Maturis, another one. James been tagged up. He doesn't like his odds. He gives it away. He's going to buy a scout in the next anyway. That's a James classic on CT, no matter the map, especially Dust. But right now, Saw are writing the script, Harry. This is Outsiders map pick, and they are now on 10 rounds. So really clean mid to be. Into a triple setup as well. Outsiders just get flooded. They don't win any fights. 1 from Kicker is all they have in that B-bomb site. Here's a scout for James. Flint's got a FAMAS likely dropped over. Do this a lot. Can that 1 rifle be put to use? They saw him cross pit.
Yeah, they know he's here. They don't know how well armed he is. Right, FAMAS versus Galil.
Really nice lurk for Just.
Oh, this is the modern day PlayStation versus Xbox. Which one of these is better? The Galil swings. Oh, the FAMAS wins. And so the clash of those cheaper rifles at long goes the way of the Outsiders. Now, fast response from Saw. They don't like the way it goes at A, and so they're quick to exec mid to B with your Kindar shot in the back and a 4-on-4 like this. You're just going to save. You're just going to try run this again. Go get the Galil from long. You've got a pretty decent investment as a result in this follow-up round. But I do love that response out of the entirety of Saw. It's like they see what Just can do. If he was able to win a couple of fights there at long, you know, then they can play into Cat. They can look to split this A play. If he dies, well, then they're going to pick up the pace. They're going to run you down on B. Honestly, it's almost reminiscent of like the Outsiders T-Pistol, where they lurked flit out towards long. Only difference here is there actually was like a protocol in place for the kind of info that the long lurk was able to get. So, yeah, lovely for Saw. Road to recovery, 11-6 up. But remember, this is an Outsiders map pick here, so that's given you some cause for concern.
Even just the call of, oh, the FAMAS is long. Like, in round 2, you know that the only way there's a FAMAS in play, really, is if someone's dropped it over to an armored player. And that was a play. Buster did that. He has 3 kills. He bought the FAMAS, gave it over. And Saw go, yeah, we don't want to fight the rifle. They have a rifle, they have a scout, they have 3 pistols. Pretty clear. So they just run away from it. And simple as that. They find Yakinda with his back turned. Even he wasn't expecting such a quick mid to be with all the players and no lurker tunnels. Jamie even needs a shot mid. You know, there's not many good signs. We had that warm up for Outsiders of 0-5 down to pick up, you know, a few rounds in a row on their T half, but we need that soon. We need that in the first rifle for Outsiders. Otherwise, this map is just going to get stolen away, and there's spot as well. Again, mid to B. Bomb is laid down mid. There's a chance to crunch. Yakinda gets a deep shot off. Flit's been mollied though, and that bomb escapes into the safety. Yakinda's got a multi-kill again. They haven't cleared him. They're running in above and through the door smoke as well. This is so weird. Stododo's going to clear him though. CZ lets us down almost. Yakinda just caught again with his back turned, and it's a 2-on-4 that Outsiders might just want to give up.
Yeah, saving, you know. It's only a FAMAS and a Galil held forward, but objectively, it's just a better call, right? You either go and die trying a 2v4, or you get out with something.
And now your rifle round's not even M4s, Harry. Now you're playing Galil FAMAS in your first gun round. Obviously, Bust has no money, so it's good for him. But ooh, this is really good from Saw. It's just very basic T side, but it's working so well.
Because I don't know about you, but I think it was apparent from how our analysts reacted. I was pretty surprised with the veto we ended up with. It took a few like turns I didn't see it taking, and Dust is always a terrifying pick in my eyes. Like even when you looked at like the NA RMR and those BO1s, it was like the map that Liquid opened up with, and they got schooled on it. You know, like it
by
is
0-0 Nation.
It is, yeah, exactly, right.
Who went out 0-3 or 1-3? Sorry.
It is like one of these maps where, even if you're good at it, it can still feel like a coin flip. You know what I mean? And it's like, when you look at the results that Outsiders have had, it kind of is like a coin flip statistically to this team, right? So it was a bit of a weird one. I really thought we were going to end up on Overpass. I was surprised when that wasn't the pick, and I think Saw maybe was just as surprised. They're trying to relish in this opportunity on Dust 2.
Buster's having a really rough game, Harry, and he just got wall banged through the door. That wasn't like info. They naded the cross, which is nice to see, something that some teams have been punished for this event for not doing, nading or smoking. So Buster's 3 kills in, and then he gets legged through the door, and now he's the B anchor. And then you ask yourself, what have Saw been doing all half? Mid to B split. So your B anchor, who isn't performing, now has 30 health. Like, this is... Saw are poised to win this game right now, Harry. It really is all on this rifle round for Outsiders. A 14-6 comeback is not something to rely on. They've got to have breathing room. This is their chance to have breathing room, and Saw are faking them out right now, throwing all their util, getting everything out of Outsiders, getting that panic. A team that never sweat, never stress, right now aren't looking their best. They're going to flash a mid-peak. It's good timing. James also blinded by theirs, though, so he has to go back. Yakinda waiting for James' contact to swing. Missed shot on the AWP. He's getting run down. Yakinda has to multi-kill here. He's up in the open. As said, those B players are low. Roman's running him down. Kicker smoke spams. That's something, but Roman still gets that shot off, and Buster is getting timed upon. Good drop to catch that tunnel's lurker, and Outsiders go flying through. They don't give a room any of it. They run right into those T's in middle and finally get around a CT rifle round nonetheless.
Yeah, dude, Kicker just kind of saved the day, right? With the smoke spam and then the decision to go running through that CT smoke. No one from Saw was ready for that. When you're playing Outsiders, you're expecting a certain level of respect, a certain level of pacing where everything's very, very timing-based, very kind of ratty. And instead, you know, he just runs the smoke. He's like, nope, this is the last thing they're going to anticipate. Out through long, Mutiris tries his hand at the opener. He's so
God.
deep.
More.
And like, don't get me wrong, he's really blind. Oh, run down by Kicker.
This
He's
is
doing
why
everything he can to keep outsiders in this one.
Yeah, this is why King is a top-rated player of this team right now. Despite the big names, as James was saying on the desk, despite Yakinda and Jame, what we know them for, that was so nice for Kicker. Guess he had some realization, heard some shots through the flashes. The player was out deep on long, and Flitz on the corner. He's about to get cleared, so that's such a big swing for Kicker to stop that play. And 12-6 down for outsiders. That's not a crux, is it? It's not a problem for this team. Saw better realize that here and now. They're about to get clattered. There's one. Yakinda hungry for more though. Roman's on the angle and Yakinda's got them both. Almost a third. Stadado. He's got the bomb back at least, but getting into B won't be easy. Even with Buster struggling, a 1v1 on a bomb site should be easy enough for him. So Stododo will put distance and go back to T-Spawn for this hunt. Kicker, did he get his head spotted? No one's called it. Doesn't look like it. Kicker, he could even knife this kill if he wants to be a cheeky boy. But no, just takes it cleanly.
I feel like I see outsiders go, like when they're trying to hunt down someone like that saving, I see them use that spot so often, and it's just disgusting.
It's
like,
a really good spot.
Yeah, it's lovely. No one's checking for it. No one's going to look there.
No, that's a good point. I don't think I've ever seen anyone cleared in that corner in my entire life.
Because it's just the last thing you expect. It's like such an advanced position, and also one that's so incredibly niche to just saving. You almost write that one off. You go, there's no way they're here. And if they are here, they deserve it. That's what you think to yourself when you get to that position.
Look, I wouldn't say this in a normal game, but outsiders never give us normal games. Are we really going to see a 12-6 comeback on CT side? Are we really going to see outsiders pull the full reversive back and win this game? We'll have to see. We don't know, but no team makes me believe like this. Maybe players, another team who are incredible on CT side comebacks. They're in Group B, which starts tomorrow, by the way, folks. Even more teams that we haven't had our eyes on just yet have arrived in Bucharest already.
I mean, outsiders literally are just the comeback team. Yeah. Right? That is like kind of the nature of this squad. And so Saw have got to recognize that as well. Yeah. And, I mean, outsiders have done it versus many, many tenured teams, right? Many, like tier 1 right at the top have been there their whole careers almost, like kind of squads, and they're able to come back against them. Now for Saw, it's going to take a lot for them to try and wipe that off and build back into this. All the more credit to them if they can. It's super weird, but it's like 12-6 versus outsiders is somehow right where they want you.
Please get comfortable.
Bit of a mow down chance, but Nade's going to help him out. He's still swinging this, still just keen to fight. And there's James, double Deeg on the closer.
Config Deeg right there. Just bop, 2 headshots. No problem for James. And yeah, get some confidence boosting kills. Get back in. James now up to 7 and 9. Those are some lovely shots.
So I've been watching the Jame player cam a hell of a lot. Like I know Naf gets the reputation as like the sloth, but Jame is pretty sloth-like too. Like he sits there, dude. There was a moment earlier where he was getting pushed in mid, and he just ran up to like here over towards Suicide, and just started like playing around with his headphones, like adjusting the fit in the middle of a round for like 10 seconds, and then just casually like picks the mouse and keyboard back up again.
We saw gun rounds. Buster was opening a bottle of water, drinking it, putting the lid back on, twisting it, and then putting it down. I'm like, Buster, the game's live. It's a gun round. But that's just how they do it. Yakinda, lovely lower play. He's been a nuisance in lower, hasn't he? He was doing it T-side, holding to aggression, and even last 2 rounds ago when he had the AWP, double kill there as well. So great opening kill for Yakinda. Gets out scot-free. He's already in the B bomb site, and they're trying to hit him. They're trying to clear him. Nice shot from Kickert as well. Mate, even if Buster's having trouble, even if James not popping off just yet, Kickert and Yakinda are doing everything they can to claw this game back. Looking for a 10th round. 3 Ts left up. Now, whatever Arky's done at long with his util has forced quite the reaction from outsiders. It's left B with only 2 players, but you are baiting for Buster hard, Yakinda. That's a perfect setup to sell Buster's position if they go mid, and they will not. It's to be smoke out, but back to the tunnels as Kickert, who was CT Sport, is now pushed long. And he has gotten so much info for the squad. Buster's even clearing mid. That does leave a window where Yakinda is alone, but this nade looks good.
Yeah, oh, Yakinda, perfect timing on that. Good damage, softens them up for Buster's A1S, and even though Yakinda dies, Buster's still here, holds the line, and man, he might have been having a pretty quiet game, but that is a big round out of the guy. Little hat trick up on the board, brings himself in line with James, now trying to overtake him on the scoreboard, and if you can get Buster switched on, you know, I think in the Dig series yesterday, he really showed us how much of a difference maker he can be. Him and Kicker ending that series with a 2v5.
The Buster Kicker duo, man, it's terrifying. When you've got the Yakinda Flit T-side entry duo, the Buster Kick at CT anchor rolls, and then you got James the Lone Wolf. Here he comes in lower this time. Very risky considering what Yakinda's been doing. Kicker finally dead first. That's a problem. They've got a gun. They're going to keep running it. They've not got much util. Last flash is out. Flit gets caught crossing in. This is a mess. James is now risking the round on one gunfight. He's fighting from spawn. He doesn't like what he sees. Yakinda's trying to flash himself back in as well, but they get a double face. And Maturis with that 1AK off Kicker's body puts it to use. That's an eco, and that's a dub for Saw.
Man, okay, things just got a lot more interesting. Outsiders, simply put, we're not ready for the pace of an eco round like that. Saw, they play that one like they've got nothing to lose. Suddenly, you know, this T side that's slowed down somewhat, you know, been hinging around finding these picks, just becomes like a very grouped up five-man affair. Something that actually, to their credit, is Dignitas were able to keep exploiting against outsiders, right? They were able to just kind of keep running these five-man, very, very quick, explosive rounds, explosive pushes. And outsiders haven't really seen anything like that for the last few rounds. It very much took them by surprise. Funnily enough, these rounds are often where you're at like your most confident as well, I think, if you're Saw, because really, if you lose it, you know, no one's going to blame you, no one's going to feel bad. It's a round where you go into it with nothing. So anything you do get feels like a massive win. You play very, very loose. You play very, very confident.
It's just snowbally, isn't it? Look at those two entries. It wins the round, right? Like, you get a gun, suddenly the gun gets another entry, and you're going, oh, God, what's going on? Flick getting caught crossing. Kicker not ready for a cat take that quick, and they're going to go back to it. They like the pace. So do outsiders. 3 here. Flick just trying to take his spawn to the pit side. He made it. Who saw what? No one saw anything. Everyone's flashed just behind the smokes. That's a wall down thrown by T and CT sides. Kicker dodges a flashbang. They've got to play a trap blue bin, but he's got support. Kicker, that's a nail-biting shot, and Flit's going to go over the top. He will die. Kicker doesn't last long either. That's a bit of a chase for Flit. Maybe he wasn't ready for more players coming late through the door smoke, but they flashed their way through, and Saw now have a very nice advantage. What do they do with it? No smoke for the cross. They got to go back. I like this call.
Oh man, this is such a key moment, because you know you're not going to get many moments like this. And even when you are 4-on-3, these are the kind of rounds at these sort of scorelines that outsiders somehow pull back. So Saw, they're doing everything they can to get all the value out of this hard work that went into opening the round up.
Yeah.
That went into creating this 4-on-3. They want to deliver on it.
Spidey senses, they're tingling. Kinder's going back. Can he stop it? One bit of util. Warms up. Oh, that could have been a collat if he just hit the shot. Going back for more. Another chance. Can they close peek? They cross. He hits them. Jamie even gets a wallbang back from spawn.
Oh my
Outsiders are 3-on-4. They know only one man's crossed in. Yakinda will check close left. No doubt. No, he doesn't. He goes for the bomb plant and just takes them 2. James now in a clutch, but no chance as he gets faced by just 5 kills in that round. The long entries and the B closes. I really thought Yakinda was going to check it.
That is insane. And dude just had round of life. Like, there we go. That is so pivotal. As well as getting this gnarly double opener out on the long side, then does this to outsiders as they try to move in on the retake. Even there to end it all, just soaks a bullet from James AWP.
Everyone did.
And goes on to close it with an ace. Oh my goodness. All right, Saw, they're looking reinvigorated. They're believing all over again.
Wow. I mean,
and dude, that's such a feel-good round because it's not like he aced in like a round that was super winnable anyway. Like, that was spiraling out of control. That was becoming a bit of an outsider's classic where, yeah, you've worked hard for the opener, and yeah, they're 3-on-4, and you probably should win it, but oh no, somehow they're making it happen, and then he just rises to the occasion. Stopping outsiders when they're on a roll like that is incredibly hard to do, and he makes it look easy with all 5 kills going his way.
Oh, they make it. They just about make it. Kinder, I think he took damage to the nade. He peeked it close. He's gone back for lower control. He's hit his shot. Right now looking like the primary AWPer of outsiders. But 1-for-1 for Yakinda. He won't be happy with it. He wants more. Didn't get the chance to escape like so often that has been granted to him. James, well, they both smoked the mid-molly. Blooming at the same point. Meanwhile, Maturis is keeping B attentive. James gone back to reinforce. I like this angle, looking for the climb up. Buster has the other side of the smoke, but no one's hitting B. Not yet, at least. It will be this execute. 4 players grouping up in tunnels. James is at least in the right spot. Buster's been doing solid work anchoring. We need a round out of these 2 now.
Yeah, the big man, the front man of outsiders is already out of the round, so now it's going to have to fall to the other guys. Buster goes 1-for-1. James, this is it. This is your moment. This is the chance. He's got to deliver. James with the first, dancing around this pillar, dancing around the site, just not giving the engagement over. They're wasting a lot of time, but Arky will eventually clear him. 35 seconds.
No way.
They go running through the door. Smoke Kicker knows he's found a gap, knows he shouldn't be here. Stododo dead, and now Arky all alone. Kicker, it's going to lock him out of the round. And so outsiders, they do manage to hold on.
That's so aware from Kicker as well, right? Last time, it's exactly what happened when they ran through B. They go through that smoke because they're looking for the plant and they're hoping it's default, but Arky's planting, the other guy's planting safe, and it's the AWP that's walking up on him to try and cover the smoke wall. Kicker's still aware that his first fight is against the other player, not against the planter. Would have been easy to just double down and hunt that plant once more, but outsiders, they won't make the same mistake twice. And they do good on Yakinda's opening kill. A solid B hold as well from Buster and James, a kill apiece. Now back to long. This time the numbers aren't here. This time it's only Flit.
Yeah, he doesn't need to go and fight this though, right? He hears all that util going over and he knows better. Just falls out, joins up with Kicker. They could even boost a player up into the site, but instead, Kicker's hanging around here early on. Attempts the smoke spam. Stododo, does he want to drop down into the pit? Pretty standard, right? To try and get your AWP here, just shuts down this entire sight line of long. At least that's the idea behind it. Outsiders, they've padded this A bomb site up. There's 4 here right now. Starting to peel one away to go take middle, but
yeah,
look at the kind of freedom that being toyed with right now by Buster and Yakinda. They've taken tunnels.
Yeah, they can keep this heavy A because they have Yakinda lower. I'm surprised Buster's still hanging around for a late mid, looking for that cat lurker. At least ensures James doesn't need to worry about his back. But outsiders, they should know this one isn't a fake out. There's no T-spawn rotate now. It is going to be the full A attack. Saw's moving up. Kicker's dumping util. Stododo fires off a shot, confirming the AWP's position. And now outsiders know.
They're all walking up the close wall. Swinging out. It's a bit of a lineup, but only one from it. Trades go back and forth. CT is smoked, and Roman's going to use this timing to try to move in. They couldn't clear Flit, and as they go back to try and trade him, that's where the peek comes in from James Orp on short. Beautiful bit of synergy between him and Flit here, and it's getting worse by the second. They get churned up. Yakinda even wraps long to help close it. And outsiders, no matter how good you're feeling, no matter how wide the margin is you're working with, they'll always find a way to catch up. They're nipping at your heels every step of the way.
Yeah.
And they're now trying to lap them right at the end. Saw, been sat on 14 for a moment, just going to have to take an eco. Gonna have to take a partial investment, hero gun for Roman. But the stage is set for outsiders to close this gap even more so.
Yeah, just hoping for another snowball round. Ikinda's doing it again, man. He's up to no good. And, well, no good will that round be. Roman finds the opener. Nice smoke shot for Jamie. They've already made it up, Cat. That's got to be communicated. Right now, his team are re-aggressing on long. They want to give this position up. James trying to cycle guns out of position. This is so dangerous to do right now. He couldn't find the AK. It's been retrieved. Justice holding down the corner. Thank goodness James didn't go through. That would be a freebie. But I even admire James trying to sneak that rifle out of position. What on earth from Stododo? Wallbangs kick it through long. And this is now suddenly scary yet again. Another eco round that has been made more than it ever should be. 2 AKs, a scout, a deagle. Util is always going to be the problem in this position. Where do you go? Do you just group B? Is that your only option? 50 seconds. They could go Cat, but this AWP is still remaining back on car. James has gone all the way back from spawn where they last saw him. He's watching for the long lurker. A scope fight he knows as Stododo comes through, but they literally don't have a flash for this corner. It should be James' kill. So good at staying focused on these angles for so long, but he's gone back to check Cat. The option's open. There are players coming from both sides. He's alone. He's being split.
Flit just saw them going up short though. He comes that across. Still, they're wrapped at long. Uh-oh, it's starting to get out of hand here. Flit busted down in CT. Gonna try to catch players crossing this bomb. Has got to make it over. Oh, and it will. It will make it. Just about sailing over the top of the CT players. The nades that goes in. Oh,
there's no time.
No time. The nades have done it for Outsiders. That is insane. Saw thought they'd done it, but waiting with nades with the artillery barrage from CT, they've stolen it away.
I was just about to say, if anyone else planted, they'd be dead. All those players were low. The one guy with health sticks it. He gets double naded. One then the other. It does it. Nades left in spawn go the furthest they possibly could, and they win a round with seconds remaining. An eco that should never have been Soars anyway, but they made that theirs. That was a 4-on-2. 1 and a second will do it. Outsiders, there's simply no time to get that bomb.
That is insane. That is like mega brain right there. Leaving the double nades in spawn. Oh my god.
12-6, Outsiders are favorites. They are 1 away from equalizing. You cannot catch this team sleeping.
Like, that's going to hurt as well because you think about what you just almost did, how that would have been you onto 15. That would have been you like getting in the heads of Outsiders a little bit. But in the end, all these advantages that you grind for, all these incredible fights that you have no business winning, the run boost even to get you past, you're thinking like, wow, you know, we've done it. This is it. Like, this is our magnum opus. This is our moment to get onto match point. And it's all stolen away by $300 that was spent by 2 different players, right, at the start of the round, pushing G, dropping the nades in spawn, and that just snipes the round away in the final, 5 seconds. Insane. Insanity.
Yeah, insanity. Only word for it. And they keep going. All right, still, Saw, they have a chance. They just called it a pause. They have a moment of composure. But they need to put it to use. Ikinda, is he really going to go lower again on this CT side? He is once more pushing with the AWP. They have to be ready. There is no way they're not ready. He has done this all CT side long to varying results. And he again nets a kill. No flash. The AWP is even watching. Stododo sees the smoke is up in middle. He calls Kealoa. And they go walking right in to Ikinda. Now the timing's still there. Roman could walk through, but he doesn't know that he's got an open sight line. Kickert's luckily enough aggressing back in spawn. Checks it. Gonna go and watch the Cat play. Outsiders don't have a lot of info. They've turtled up in this 5-on-4. It's a good call. But I just can't believe not only that Saw aren't checking it, but Ikinda's still doing it. At what point is it enough? Never for Outsiders. And this time he gets out 1 for none. He doesn't even get traded. Molly right side. Buster's got the AWP now from Ikinda, letting him rifle. Buster missed shot, dives back through the smoke, and Ikinda covers with shots through it. They're going for a mid-to-be. The info's there. Kickert's got his kill. There's no smoke in spawn, and there's no chance at this round. Saw have to win it on fights alone, and Kicker is giving them none of it. Flick dropping off Cat. Good flick for Stododo back, but there is no chance.
Yeah, he's got 30 seconds, and look at the minimap, right? Outsiders are all flooding him. They're all looking to remove this AWP from play. They know what Stododo's hoping to do here. These guys practically invented the save. And do you really think that you're going to get away with saving while James in the server? Stododo walks to his death. And James is the man to deliver it. Outsiders have now tied this game up. 14 all from 6-12 down.
Are we even surprised? Are we even surprised, Harry? Is there anything new to remark on for Outsiders? Not really. It's just another day in the office. It's par for the course.
Dude, it's just insane. It's like the way the Outsiders are able to win series, it's not just them winning. They destroy your mentality. They destroy you in these long, drawn-out games. That old idea that, you know, oh, it's better, you know, to get, like, wreck 16-3 than it is to lose 14-16, you know? Like, because then you could just go next. It's like, well, that's like almost what James' whole philosophy is built around with this team. It's like, what if we really just ruin them in every single map? What if every single one is close, they're tired, they're exhausted, and we're still ready to go? We're still believing. It's a tie game now. Sort of got to be in their heads. Yeah. If you want to find yourself in a seat, you can scan that QR code there. Bag yourself some tickets for the PGL Major in Antwerp.
Yeah, maybe you'll catch Outsiders there. You never know. With this kind of performance, they are only 2 little rounds away from locking in their map pick in this series. Ancients up next. Flashing long. I like this. Since Outsiders started giving away long control, they've been all the better for it. Their A-holds have been really solid. With Yakinda having all this info lower almost every round, they know that they can play 3 or 4A. They know that they can deal with these long plays from the bomb site. And Yakinda, what do you think he's up to this round? He's pushed upper now. He's got all that control. Buster can go back and watch mid to B and also assist on Catwalk. Kickett's clearing it right now. James going to hit his shot. Of course he will. He's woken up at the right time and he's broken the hearts and minds of Portugal. 5-on-4 and Saw. We know where they are. Outsiders know where they are. And they're coming to you.
Yeah, man, you're just trying to full send this one, but flashes to hold them back. A tag from Jame, and it's only softened these long players up. Kickert's nade goes raining in, and Outsiders now up onto 15, streaking these rounds together to make the comeback happen. And still a chance to get it over the line in regulation.
Both pistols for Saw, a 5-0 lead, 3 rounds off their conversion in the first half. And yeah, you say streaks, that's all Outsiders are giving us. They're on fire. They got 4 rifle rounds. Now they're looking for another streak of 6. The 12-6 scoreline that never should have been winnable. This should still be an OT game. Saw had that 4-on-2 with a plant coming in. The nade, to think that is what stopped 15 from being found for Saw in the first place. And now it's Outsiders sitting on map point first. Attack pause. Dastan has been using them liberally in these games for Outsiders.
And of course, it's in round 30 that Yakinda says, no, I'm done with the lower pushes. Instead, I'm going to lean into this B site. And, well, it's a good read out of the Outsiders. They've even got a CT player leaning this way early. Oh. You know, you're going to have a nice fast rotation out of Flit to come and help.
You can get caught on these jiggles, right? The smoke jiggle Buster's doing. If he peeks in as they peek in, they might just bop him. There are definitely ways that this time he can go astray. He's even holding a smoke, not a molly. I feel like as they peek, they're going to rush it, right? They're lining up their util. Smoke might do nothing to stop this assault. Hinge smoke is a fake out. Maturis is coming in through mid and Sora executing now. That molly is a problem.
Flit in mid, finds Mutiras, Yakindar up in the window. Good. Good 4-3.
Wow.
And Buster's there to close in the blink of an eye. The comebacks happened before you even knew what hit you. Sorko a map down, 60. In 14 to the Outsiders as they long this one out, a full 30-round affair, pulling it all the way back from 6-12 down. They managed to win it at 16-14. It's just classic Outsiders. It is so what we've come to expect from this squad. So they're learning how this feels, the devastation of having this team come back against you. And man, I mean, that's just got to be the most brutal feeling, the most horrible feeling to be in this position where you had such a golden opportunity on your opponent's map pick, and you get that dealt to you.
It's the experience play. It's the Outsiders through and through. It's what we know them to do. I can't believe it. They've done it. First map locked in. And would you look at that? It's Jame time. Let's throw it back to the desk.
Yes, would you look at that again? We see Outsiders take a long route to victory. We're at, what, 12-6? Then we see, oh, Outsiders remember how they're supposed to play the game again. And they start to do some damage. James takes a hell of a lot of time to warm up into it. There's a lot to unpack with this one, boys. Go on, Prof. You look like you got something to say.
I'm tired from this game. I'm tired.
You didn't even play.
I'm tired watching Jame. I'm tired of all of this bullshit. How can this be the thing that they pull off
We've broken
time after time after time? They look like absolute dog, and then they look like, I don't know, a decent team. A decent team. I'm not saying they looked amazing, because at the end, I think Saw also misplayed their hands in a bunch of these situations. Yakindar's aggression, like, okay, he is aggressive, he is good, but how can you just allow him to go into lower and kill you every time? Like, what's going on? Where are the protocols?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good question.
We are in agreement here. I really do feel like, listen, we try to move away from the meme, right? We're like, paid by the round, all the rounds. But that's what it came down to for Outsiders. I won't lie, Saw, they got off to a fantastic start, right? 5-0. They win both the pistols. They convert the anti-ecos as well. So first 5 rounds in the first half, they were won by them. The first 3 rounds as well being won. And everyone looking really good. And 12-6, that's a scoreline in which I think Outsiders are like, hey, wait, we picked this map.
Yeah, this is our map.
We're kind of supposed to win this. And then Yakindar steps up. I think it was consistent throughout the entire matchup. And Flit, though, what a showing at the final few rounds.
Yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit for that as well. But you also got to feel bad for Saw. You feel like you've got a grasp of the game. You feel like, okay, yeah, we're doing it in style. And then, like, even the eco plays they're able to pull off.
Yeah, I mean, this game that they had, this map, was the first time in the, yesterday against Force, all of the maps that they started 7-2 down, 8-2 down, 12-2 down, right? They never got going early. Here, they had a 5-0 lead. Stadoda was on point. He was 8-0 after these 5 rounds. Three opening picks. Like, we're, this is kind of interesting.
And where's Jame in the meantime?
Where's Jame? Not even in the meantime. I think until 20, 25 rounds into the game, he had like 10 kills, 10 deaths. He was a non-factor. He doesn't exist on the server. It's amazing. At the same time, Yakindar is 20-20. Like, how can this be the same team? How can he was missing shots. He was completely out of it.
Let's talk about the one guy who has been kind of like the shining light in what has been a pretty black hole for Outsiders. Kicker. no matter what's happening, Kicker seems to deliver every single time. Now we
It's a straight line. But
yeah, like he's just delivering, right? And he's giving a star performance, ably supported by Yakinder as usual. You know, Crack. He's basically battering ram opening style. The way he gets a 3K, just spraying out from window to close out a series, just typical Yakinder, right? But there are worries here. Like James, as the IGL, the star opera, one of the heavy hitters of his team, he was missing, and he's been missing too much right now. I mean, this is rough, man.
How can these be the stats? 14-12 for an Opper on Dust 2. 30
of
rounds.
Of his caliber.
30 rounds, their map pick. Like, he's one of the best Oppers. Historically, in the last 2 years, he's one of the best Oppers in the world. What was this?
But what point did you point out to him where like it was like Stadodu was massively ahead of him and James
Yeah,
was like...
after the first half, I think Stadodo kind of slowed down, but he still finished on like kind of a decent score. We're looking at this like 17-18. Those kind of last rounds where Yakindar was making a lot of mess in middle, just picking them off early, and the late long takes where they just they didn't make outsiders uncomfortable at all. And then Jane picked up and Stadodo slowed down at the end.
The best bit, Prof, though, when we're sat there watching it, you know, it was when James there at long doors, you know, he's just got the player who doesn't check and walks out, and you even said he even takes his time to just kill the person right in front of him, not looking at him.
Yeah, he's squeezing out these extra seconds of the match, right?
Just trying to make it as long as possible.
It all counts.
For Saw, though, I know the last time they played was, I think, a very, very long time back in 2020, so they haven't really played out this iteration of Outsiders ever. So they kind of got the Outsiders treatment. They dangle that cake in front of you, like, can you taste that? Can you taste that win? You almost have it. You almost have it. And just
no,
not
allowed.
And Yakinder just smacks them, and Flit deals him the Stone Cold Stunner right there.
But the win was almost there, right? And had it been some of these eco rounds playing off, I know you guys have got a couple of these ones to showcase, but realistically, we were looking at this thinking, yes, Saul got this.
Honestly, this round, right? Like, we saw this comeback taking place from Outsiders, and then they completely capitulate here. Now, I want to point out a second player. Why are we being caught in transition? Like, what is the timing on that? No flashes, nothing. Flit, he was a hero a few rounds, but that just fell apart, man.
Yeah, he made up for it in the next one, but yeah, this is just like a very simple. There's not even smokes or anything. We just pushed up short, got the 2 kills, and got the round. So that was the round where you think like, okay, after that, just has the ace. Getting openings and then closing out the round on the B bomb site, and you think, okay, this is it, but it isn't it. It was again another eco round that happened. Another eco round that happened that probably Outsiders should have lost, and then a bit of magic happened in the last second. We'll look at that shortly, I think.
Yeah, we'll look at it. We'll grab up the Flip and performance with the grenades as well, because it is a saving grace, I guess.
It's heartbreak, right? I like this. They go for the little cheeky run boost over. They grab the bomb. They have control of the site, and then boom, one nade. And the follow-up right there. And this is, I guess, one of those rounds where the nade meta changes has actually been this impactful in winning a round. And listen, if you saw, you're gutted, right? You have the side, you know if they go for these duels, you're going to be coming out on top. But time.
4v2,
there was no time.
They had a guy on the side, but like he's okay. I'm covering
what
everything.
What do you do? Block the nade?
Yeah, he moved away like a bit towards short. He feels like 3 meters closer. He maybe could have gotten the ball and planned in the time, but like you don't really expect this to come through, and it's a very heartbreaking way.
It's pretty cool from Outsiders.
Yeah,
the fact that they had a couple of nades, are like, all right, in case they hit the bomb site, and if you're able to delay them for as long as we can, maybe there is a window where we'll be able to prevent the bomb from getting planted. And it took place. A couple of magical rounds to get it done in the end. But that feels like every map and every game from Outsiders. They get it done in the end. One of the most annoying and hardest teams to beat.
But fun for us to talk about, fun for us to watch. And now we get to have even more fun because we're going to Ancient. This time it's going to be Saul's pick. And you guys looked at that, right? And you said, you can understand maybe why Saul picked it, but it's still not, they're not going to give him much options here. They lose that precious nuke, and now you're kind of hindered.
Yeah, I mean, this is a map that still I feel like in the current meta is not really fully developed. The meta of the map. So especially as an underdog, you always feel like, oh, maybe I can pull out a trick out of my sleeve and I can make the other team uncomfortable. Yeah. Outsiders don't really play it that much, even though they've been kind of okay on it. And Saw have been leaning into it and trying to make it their own. So I see the angle there, even though, yeah, since they lose nuke, maybe another map could have gone through like a Vertigo that we expected. But I think this is maybe even the better pick for them.
Yeah, like Vertigo would be the obvious pick coming in, right, for them. And then, but like we said, you're the underdogs over here. Maybe a curveball being lobbed in could make things interesting. But the thing is, again, for Outsiders, they have played this map in the past. They have been pretty comfortable, actually, beating a couple of teams who are normally spectacular and ancient. And like Prof said, Ancient is a map which I don't think has been completely figured out yet. And yet we have a couple of teams like Astralis, like NIP, like Na'Vi, who seem to be still really, especially NIP, and Outsiders beat NIP just a couple of months prior. So it's a map that they can play, and they're going to be starting the CD side. So if I'm Saw, this is not looking good.
And my thing here for Saw, I'll be honest, right, is that, okay, you've picked into it, but you're going up against a team who hasn't played it for a couple of months. You don't know what's changing it, especially a new map. You're kind of going in a bit dark, right?
Yeah, their last match played is exactly 2 months ago, or almost to the day. What I want to see, actually, is just more disrespect from outsiders. I think when you look at the players that they have on the team, just individually, they should be so much better than their opponents. They should be happy to take the aim duels. And the first half on Dust 2, I felt like there was so much like slow movement, so much respect given. When Flit came into this lineup, we saw a pace change. We saw some new things coming into the lineup, faster rounds. And I feel like if we get more of that, that's going to be amazing. Even though the CT side should be enough to kind of put the game to bed.
All right, quick question before we go to break. How many rounds, boys?
30?
19.
Oh, Prof's going real
He's a
low with
believer.
that one. He may be a believer. We'll have to see what we're going to get. We're heading to a break, and maybe you get to see some of these players kick a ball around, play some keepy uppies. I know Maui says it wrong, but we'll have to see how it goes down.
I'm Maui Snake here at the PGL EU RMR Group A, and we're doing kick-ups. We're going to see which player from every single team that we can gather is the best at keeping the ball in the air. Kick-ups coming your way, folks. Today we're going to be playing kick-ups. Montu, you think you're going to be doing well in this?
I think so. Last time I played football was about 10 years ago, but I think I've got the natural skill for it. So yeah, hopefully it'll go well in these MXs.
One try, one try. Oh, okay. I think that's like mid-20s on that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Joined by Forza's Zorte, and he is going to see how many kick